Hi 5th graders, today's topics are going to be multiplying decimals, adding, rounding numbers, and division. So we're going to do multiplying decimals, but if you look throughout the worksheet, it only gives you that the decimal is multiplied by either 10, 100, or 1000. And I believe that a few videos back I showed you guys the method, or like the easier method of solving multiplying decimals, and it's that you have to look at the zeros, and I'll show you what I mean just to refresh your memories. Let's start off with number 5. Number 5 gave us 0.077 times, oh that's a little messy, 7 times 1000. Now, you can choose to do the long method, which is just multiplying it out like fully, but the new method, or the easier method, is that you look at the zeros, and we see that 1000 has 3 zeros, right? So we're gonna go back to the decimal, which is 0.077, and we look for the decimal, which is right here in between the two zeros, and then we're gonna move it to the right 3 times, because once again 1000 has 3 zeros, so we're going to move it back 3 times, which is 1, 2, 3, and our new decimal point will be right there, so it will be 77. And you could choose to put the decimal, but it's the same thing. 77.0 is the same thing as 77, so it doesn't really matter. Just in case, let's do number 7. Number 7 gives us 3.78 times 10. Now, 10 has only 1 zero, so we're going to go to 3.78, and we see that the decimal point is between the 3 and the 7, so we're going to move it back to the right only once. So it's going to be right there in between the 7 and 8. So our answer will be 37.8. Let's make that decimal point darker. So 37.8 will be our final answer. Next, we're moving on to addition. So we're just basically adding all these numbers together. And since it's easy, we're just going to do one question together, which is number 4. Now, number 4 consists of very large numbers, but we see that they're kind of out of, like, let's say it's not in from greatest to least order, so I'm going to write it out as greatest to least order. So I'm going to write 50,176,734. That's going to be our greatest number. And then we see that 2,880,551 is our second greatest number, so it's going to be 2,880,551. And then as for the 62,000 and the 98,000, it doesn't really matter, but because they're both in the 10,000s place, but I'm gonna stick to my greatest to least order, so I'm gonna put 98,612 first. So I put 98,612, and then next is gonna be 62,997. And as you can see, I tried my best to make sure that all numbers are lined up. And now I'm just gonna add. So I'm gonna go from the ones to the 10 millions. So 4 plus 1 is 5, 5 plus 2 is 7, and 7 plus 7 is 4. I'm sorry. 1 plus 4 is 5, 5 plus 2 is 7, 7 plus 7 is 14. So I bring out the 4 and bring up the 1. Now we add all of these together. 1 plus 3 is 4, 4 plus 9 is, oh I'm sorry, I gave it away. 4 plus 5 is 9, 9 plus 1 is 10, 10 plus 9 is 19, so you're going to bring down the 1 and bring down the 9 and bring up the 1. 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 plus 5 is 13. 13 plus 6 is 18. And 18 plus 9. I'm sorry. 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 plus 5 is 13. 13 plus 6 is 19. And 19 plus 9 is 28. So bring up the 2 and leave the 8 down there. So 2 plus 6 is 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. 16 plus 2 is 18. So we'll bring down the 8, bring up the 1. 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. 16 plus 9 is 25. 25 plus 6 is 31. So bring down the 1 and bring up the 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 plus 8 is 12. Bring down the 2 and bring up the 1. 1 plus 0 is 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. And then we just bring down the 5. So if we were to write it out with commas, it would be 53,218,894. And that will be our final answer. Let's double check just in case. Yep, that will be our final answer. We're going to do rounding to the nearest thousands, and so when it means rounding to the nearest thousands, we're going to have to round to the 4th number, or the 4th number from going right to left, but yeah, I don't want to confuse you guys. Once again, the rounding rules is that if it's greater than or equal to 5, you round up. If it's less than 5, you round down. Which is the same thing, which means that you just leave it. However, you should know that after you're rounding, if you're rounding, the numbers that are behind the thousands place turn into zeros. I'll show you guys what I mean. This is basically just review. So number 2 gives us 9,255. 9 is in the thousands place. So if we want to round the 9, we're going to have to look at the number behind it, which is 2. And we see that 2 is less than 5, so you're going to round down, which means that you just leave it as a 9. However, like I said earlier, the numbers that go behind 9 turn into zeros. So 9,255 will round to 9,000. Let's look at number 3 for another example, which gives us 74,108. This is the first, when we're going from right to left, number 4 is the 4th place, so it's going to be the thousandths. And we want to round to the 4, so we're going to look at the number behind it, which is 1. And once again, 1 is less than 5, so we're going to round down, which means that we're just going to leave 4 as it is. However, we don't bother the 7, and we bring down the 4, and then the 3 numbers that are behind the 4 will turn into zeros. So 74,108 will turn into 74,000 when rounded. So when you're rounding, just look at this rule again and make sure that you're looking at the thousands place for this worksheet. Next, we're going to be doing division. And we're going to do number 1 together. We see that 903 is being divided by 20. So 20 is going to be the divisor. So it's going to go on the outside. And we see that 900 is the one being divided. So it's going to go on the inside. So it's the dividend. So 903 goes in the inside. Now we know that 20 can't go into 9, so we're gonna go one more over and assume that 20 can go into 90, which it can. And when we multiply it out, we know that 20 times 4 equals 80, right? But 20 times 5 equals 100. So we're going to go with 4 because 80 is less than 90. So we're going to put 4 there. And then we know that 4 times 20, once again, is 80. So we're going to subtract 80 from 90. And then we just subtract regularly, but we ignore the 3 for now. 0 minus 0 is just 0. 9 minus 8 is 1. I gave it away. We see that 20 is bigger than 10. So 10 has to become greater than 20. So we're going to bring down the 3. So it becomes 103. And earlier I said that 20 times 5 equals 100. And just to make sure that no other number can go into 103, we're going to multiply 20 by 6, and it gives us 120. And 120 is way more than 103. So we're going to go with 5. So we're going to do 20 times 5, which is 100, and we're going to subtract 100 from 103. And we're left with 3. Now, usually we would keep going using decimals, but it looks like this worksheet wants us to just leave it as a remainder. So our final answer would be 45 remainder. When you're doing remainder, the R is always capitalized, and then our remainder is 3. So we're going to put 3. If the last number is equal to 0, then you don't need to put a remainder at all. And that's all I have for you guys today. I hope this video helped you guys a bit.